for joining me for the American Kidney Fund's Kidney Action Week. My name is Asia Vienna Leek, and I am an experienced 200-hour yoga teacher registered with Yoga Alliance. I am also the co-owner of Love Yoga Studio in Hyattsville, Maryland. Feel free to check us out at Love Yoga Studio MD on Instagram and Love Yoga Studio on Facebook. Before we begin, I would like to thank US Renal for sponsoring this event. Today we will do a vinyasa yoga class. This class will be open both to beginners as well as seasoned practitioners. You will need a yoga mat, and you may also want some water next to you during our practice. There are many benefits to practicing yoga, both physical and mental. Some of the physical benefits include decreased stiffness in the body, increasing strength and flexibility, as well as helping with digestion and circulation. Some of the mental benefits include decreased stress and improved mood. As we go through our practice today, if at any point your body tells you to stop, definitely listen and only do what feels okay for you. Now we will begin in a seated cross-legged position, bringing the hands down to the knees. You can allow the palms to face down to the knees, or they can face up. And we're just going to take a minute to breathe deeply, allowing the mouth to close as we inhale in through the nose and exhale out through the nose. Taking these few moments to center ourselves with our breath before we move into the asana yoga pose practice. Continue to breathe deeply here, and we'll start to take the arms overhead, extending through the sides of the body. And as you exhale, bring the hands down to the mat. And just go through this 4 more times, following the path of your breath, which basically means go as fast or slow as you would like to. And we're really allowing the breath to initiate the movement and for the movement to simply follow. Allowing the hands to come down to the sides, begin to take movement into your head, going from one side to the other. Maybe you allow your ear to come down to your shoulder or your chin to your chest and then to the ceiling. Even taking a neck roll if that feels good for your body. And then eventually moving this movement into the shoulders, rotating them forward, up, and back. We're still breathing deeply and fully here. In and out of the nose. Reversing this whenever you're ready, going back, up, and down. And then maybe taking one shoulder at a time. Just noticing what this may feel like in your body. Noticing if there's any stiffness or tightness. And just breathing into those spaces. We'll lift the arms overhead here, bring the hands down to the knees, and just take a little mini cat and cow flow. This is where we inhale, lift the chest, and exhale, pull the chin into the belly. Just one more time, flowing here as we warm up our spine. Eventually returning back to a neutral spine where we're sitting nice and tall. On your next inhale, float the arms overhead. As you exhale, twist over to the right side, bringing the left hand to the right knee. Allow that right hand to come behind you. Holding here. And even though we're holding the pose, we're not holding our breath. We're still breathing deeply and fully. Inhale, untwist, arms float overhead. Exhale, twist to the left side. Inhale, untwist. Go back over to the right as you exhale, twisting through the shoulders and not through the hip bones. Inhale, arms come back overhead. Exhale, twist over to the left once more. We'll return back to the center and move into our side bend here, dropping the left hand down, right arm comes overhead. Inhale, bring the arms back to center. Exhale, drop the right hand down, left arm comes over. Inhale, pull it back to the center. Hands come down to the knees. And just take a moment to notice how your spine and your shoulders feel. And from here, we'll move on to the hands and knees, coming into Tabletop Pose. So we want to come to the place where the knees are right under the hip bones, wrists are right under the shoulders, the fingers are spread nice and wide, which means you can see the mat in between each finger. You can tuck the toes under if that feels good for your body, but if you're able, try to bring the tops of the feet flat down to the mat. On your next inhale, drop the center of the back, lift the chest, and find your cow pose. As you exhale, pull the navel to the spine, chin to chest, and come into cat. Inhale, float up into cow pose. Exhale, chin to chest, coming into cat. And just go through this 3 more times, following the path of your breath. Whenever you've finished with this, return back to a neutral spine. Squeeze the navel into the spine. Allow your gaze to come down to your mat between the 2 thumbs. Here we are in our table pose once more. On your next inhale, lift the right arm up to the ceiling. Exhale, bring that hand across the chest, under the left arm. Right shoulders down, heads down. Slide the left hand to the top of the mat. We're in thread the needle pose here. Extending through that left shoulder. Inhale, bring the left hand to the side of the face. Use it to push that right shoulder off, untwist. Exhale, hand comes down. We'll switch to the left side now. Inhale, take the left arm up. Exhale, bring that hand across the body, underneath the right shoulder. Left shoulders down, heads down. Slide the right hand to the top of the mat. Hips are nice and high here for thread the needle pose. On your next inhale, bring that hand to the side of the face. Use it to push that left shoulder off, untwist the arm. Exhale, bring it down. We'll pull the knees together, pull the feet together. Shift your hips back and come into a child's pose. Extending through the top of the back and the shoulders, palms flat on the mat, and elbows off of the mat if possible. I invite you here to turn inward, connecting with your breath if you've lost that deep manner of breathing. Come back to breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. One more deep breath here. And on your next inhale, squeeze the navel to the spine, pull the shoulders back over the wrist. Allow the knees to open back up so they're right under the hip bones. Tuck the toes under here Begin to shift the hips high to the ceiling. Walk the hands further forward, and here we are in our downward facing dog. We'll begin by allowing one knee to bend and then the other. Pedaling out the feet in this downward facing dog. Really using the muscles in the hands. And then we'll come into stillness. And on your next inhale, walk, step, or hop your feet to the top of the mat. You can bring your gaze forward so that you can see where the feet are going. We'll allow the feet to be parallel to fist width distance apart. So if you put your two fists in between the 2 feet, that'll tell you about how far apart you want them. If your hands don't come all the way to the feet or the mat, that's perfectly fine. Bring them to the shins. You can always have a slight bend in the knees if that feels good for your body. The beautiful thing about yoga is that it is a personal practice, and so you can make this practice fit to what it is that your body needs. One more deep breath in this fold. Really allow your head to hang and your tailbone to come high. On your next inhale, lift up halfway. Find your flat back. Low back is flat. Really push the chest down. Pull the shoulders up onto the back of the body. Hands come to the hips. Elbows up to the ceiling. And exhale, fold all the way back down. Bend the knees. We're going to step the right foot to the back of the mat. Dropping that right knee down. Untuck the right toe. And inhale the arms overhead. Gaze is forward. We're opening our right hip here. Deep breath in. And on your next exhale, hands come down to the outside of that left foot. Tuck the back toe under. Lift the back knee off. Step that left foot back. Here we are in a plank. We'll exhale, drop the knees, untuck the toes. Pull the chest and the chin down. Your hips are high. This is kind of a funny pose, but your arms are strong here, elbows tucked in. Inhale, drop the belly down, lift the chest. Elbows are still in for Cobra Pose. And exhale, push back to downward facing dog. Deep breath here, lots of movement that just happened. We'll get ready to do it on the other side. On your next exhale, right leg comes up, gaze comes to the front of the mat. As you bend that leg and pull it to the top, drop the left knee, untuck the left toe, inhale the arms overhead. Deep breath here. On your next exhale, hands come down to the outside of the right foot. Tuck the back toe under, lift that back knee off of the mat. Step that left foot up, standing forward fold here. Maybe you're able to stretch through the back of the ledge just a little more. Maybe you sort of rock from one side to the other. One more deep breath. Inhale, halfway lift here. Find that flat back once more. Low back is flat, chest is down to the mat, shoulders are up onto the back of the body. Exhale, bend the knees, tuck the tailbone under, float the arms overhead, or bring your hands to heart center for chair pose. Exhale, fold forward, returning back to the forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Flat back here. Exhale, hands down, bend the knees. Step the left foot to the back of the mat. Drop the knee, untuck the toe. Inhale the arms overhead. On your next exhale, bring the hands down to the outside of the right foot. Plant your left hand to the inside of the right foot and float that right arm up. We are twisting in our low lunge. Gaze is up to the thumb of the right hand. On your next exhale, pull that right hand to the inside of the right foot. Let's open that twist with the left arm up. Balancing here, squeezing the navel to the spine. Exhale, drop the left hand. Right hand comes to the outside of the right foot. Shift your hips back, and here we are in a half split. So we're going to hold this for a few breaths. Breathing deeply and fully here. We have the ball of the right foot off of the mat, stretching through the hamstring on the back of that right leg. One more deep breath. Inhale, bring your knee back over top of the ankle. Tuck the back toe under, lift that back knee off. Step the right foot back. Here we are in our plank again, nice and strong. Exhale, knees come down, untuck the toes, pull the chest and the chin down, hips stay high, elbows are tucked in. Inhale, belly down, lift the chest for cobra, elbows are still tucked in. Exhale, come back to your downward facing dog, hips are high. Deep breath here in this down dog. On your next inhale, we'll come to the left side. Lifting that left leg, gaze comes up to the top of the mat. Bend the knee, pull it up to the top. Drop the right knee down, untuck the right toe. Arms float overhead. Holding this low lunge for a couple of breaths. On your next exhale, hands come down to the outsides of the left foot. Right hand comes to the inside of the left foot as we lift that left arm. Gaze comes up to the thumb of the left hand. We're still stretching into that right hip here as we twist. And down as we exhale, left hand comes to the inside. If you glue the left knee and the left shoulder together, that can help you balance just a bit more. Inhale, lift the right arm up. Gaze comes up to the right thumb. On your next exhale, drop the right hand down. Left hand comes to the outside of the left foot. Shift the hips back. Ball of the left foot comes off the mat. Here we are in our half split. We still want to keep the hips nice and square. So what that means is that we don't want to lean too far over to the right or be leaning too far over to the left. We're right in the center here. On your next inhale, walk the left knee over top of the left ankle, tuck the back toe under, lift that back knee off the mat, step the back foot up. Here we are in our standing forward fold. Maybe you can stretch a little deeper into the back of those legs. These are tiny micro movements that we're looking for that if someone was looking at you, most likely they would not be able to see, but you can feel it within your body. One more deep breath, allowing that head to hang. Tailbone comes high to the sky. On your next inhale, lift up halfway, find your flat back. Bend the knees, tuck the tailbone under. Float the arms overhead, squeezing the navel to the spine. You can bring your hands to heart center if that feels better for your practice. Holding this chair. And on your next exhale, fold forward, hands come down to the mat. Bend the knees, step the right foot to the back of the mat. Pivot the right foot so that it's parallel to the edge of the mat. Keep this left foot planted where it is as you lift the torso. Open the arms into a T, and we found our warrior two. So we're gonna pull the back ribs back. Double check that this back arm is in line with the front. So we want the wrist in line with the shoulders. Gaze is over the ring finger of the left hand. 2 deep breaths here. Feeling the strength of your body holding you in this pose. On your next exhale, cartwheel the hands down to the outside of the left foot. Pivot to the center so that we can come into our wide angle forward fold. Wrists can stay under the shoulders here. If it's in your practice, you can pull forearms down, so that the elbows are under the shoulders. We're always working to keep our body in alignment within our yoga practice. 2 more deep breaths here. Make sure all the weight is not in your heels and all the weight is not in your toes. We want your weight right in the center. On your next inhale, if you're on your forearms, come back to the hands, wrist under the shoulders. All together, we'll pivot over to the right side so that we can find this warrior 2 on this side. So from here, we want to drop the left foot down so that it's parallel to the edge of the mat. Keep that right foot planted. Inhale up. Arms open into a T. Pull the rib cage back, those low ribs. Double check this back arm. Sometimes it'll be too low or it might be towards the front. We're creating a straight line here. Gaze is over the ring finger of the right hand. 2 more deep breaths. On your next exhale, cartwheel the hands down to the mat. Pivot that left foot to the front. Drop the left knee down. Untuck the left toe. Pull that right foot down, back, and then shift your hips back as you come into your child's pose here. Just settling in, noticing all of the energy that you've created through your practice. And on your next inhale, we'll come back to the place where the shoulders are over the wrist, allowing the knees to open back up, right under the hips. This is our table pose. Pull the chest down between the shoulders. If you're not sure if you're doing it, try to push the chest up and then intentionally bring the chest down while still squeezing the navel to the spine and not letting that low curve come into the low back. From here, we'll come into Sunbird Pose. Get nice and strong in the left hand and the top of the right foot. Send that left leg back. The foot is flexed. The hip is pointed down to the mat. Inhale the right arm to the outside of the head. Squeeze the navel to the spine. Your gaze is down to the mat with that wrist right in line with the shoulder. Feel the energy all the way from the heel of your foot out through your fingertips. Exhale, hand comes down, knee comes down. Maybe sway those hips just as a little counter pose. And we'll get ready for the other side. Get nice and strong in the right hand, the top of the left foot. Send that right leg behind you. The foot is flexed. The hip point is down to the mat. Extend the left arm all the way to the front. Squeezing the navel to the spine. Finding your strength on this side. And exhale, drop the hand down, drop the knee down. One more child's pose, knees together, feet together. If it feels good, you can open the knees while keeping the toes together. Sometimes this can help you get just a little deeper into the hips. 2 deep breaths. On your next inhale, lift the head, walk the hands into the body. We're going to come into Thunderbolt Pose, just bringing our seat to our heels. If this feels uncomfortable for your body, you can always just come back to your seat with your legs crossed. Inhale, take the arms overhead. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Inhale, arms float up. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll come into our twist now, inhaling the arms up. Exhale, twist over to the left side. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, twist over to the right side. Inhale the arms. Let's find that side bend again. Left hand down, stretching the right side body. Inhale, bring the arms overhead. Exhale, drop the right hand down, stretching the left side body. Inhale, come back to the center. You can come to your seat, extend the legs all the way out in front of you, float the arms overhead, hinge forward, hands coming down to the feet. If your hands don't reach the feet, of course you always have knees, shins, ankles. Those are all options. Again, coming back to this idea that yoga is for the individual. You can meet your mat right where you are. On your next inhale, lift the torso. Cross the legs, we'll come back into our easy pose. Bringing the hands down to the knees. Closing your eyes for just a second, allowing all of what we've done today to soak into the body. Taking a moment for integration. And just letting all the benefits of our practice seep in. You may lower your gaze or close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Allowing yourself to exist in both the stillness and the silence for just a few moments. Next, inhale, slowly start to lift your gaze or blink your eyes open. Allow your hands to come to heart center. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope that you enjoyed moving your body. Please visit the American Kidney Fund's website at kidneyfund.org. And remember to keep moving. Movement is integral to all of our lives. And yoga can be done in just 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be a half hour or an hour long. You can take your favorite poses, put them together, and then make sure that you breathe at the beginning of your practice and take a moment for silence and stillness at the end. Thank you so much. Namaste.